me and Nick have bought budget cars to turn into
competitive track cars so that me and Chris can race each other.
I have bought the R53 Cooper S because it means supercharger.
And I have bought this lovely Mark 1 Audi TT because that means turbocharger. And don't ever forget 4-wheel drive.
If you haven't done so already, please hit that like
and subscribe to our channel.
Right, let's see what I can do in my Mini 0 to 60 with my whole 160 bhp. Now I have a feeling Nick's Audi TT is going to be a little bit faster with its 225 bhp from factory.
What's going on there, Chris? Does you just need a little drink? Well, Chris's Mini did not quite do that well, but luckily we have a lot of bolt-on upgraded parts coming, and hopefully he can eke a bit more performance out of this to level the playing field.
Now I paid a whole £1,500 for this Mini, but Nick got his TT worryingly cheap.
Yes, I only paid £800 for all of this, but it did come with a catch. We had to do the clutch. So this is my budget clutch kit. And what we've got to start with, the first bit that's going to go onto the engine, the solid state flywheel.
God, it's a lump in it.
It's heavy, but it is replacing a dual mass, so
it's very true.
The weight is still there.
Okay, and then what goes on this? So
then onto this, you've got your your friction plate. So this doesn't say gearbox side on it, but normally they're labelled which is engine side, which is gearbox side.
Right.
I know from experience that this is gearbox side, so this is going to place in here like this.
Yep.
And over the top of that, you have your pressure plate. Now, when clutches fail, normally it's because all this material is worn away and you end up on rivets.
Yeah, it's a bit like a brake pad.
It is, yeah, so it wears away. It's a similar sort of material. But, however, in the TT, I don't think that's a problem. By the feel of the clutch pedal, I think the pressure plate is a failure point. So every time you depress the clutch, this is a concentric slave. This is what operates the clutch with fluid into it. It pushes out and pushes onto these fingers, which releases this plate.
Right, okay.
But I think these have gone weak on the TT. So when it's released, these aren't put in full tension on this plate. And
because that sits
on top of
there and then applies tension as that's pushing.
Yeah, and as you push these, as you push that, it just pulls this plate down slightly, which allows this to freewheel in the middle. The slave cylinder, because
these are embedded in the gearbox, aren't they?
They're in the gearbox, but it's also obviously, in an older car, you'd have a clutch release bearing, but this is a concentric slave, so it's your release bearing is in there with the slave cylinder. It's a flipping pain in the ass if that's your problem. Now that it's explained how a clutch works, let's jump to the bit where we actually got it fitted. Catalytic converter. Yeah. That doesn't look good. There you go. Yeah. There you go. Great success. Guido. I'm going to remove this decat pipe so that I can fit the new catalytic converter. No, Lambda says no. Look at this. You done that.
I did not do that.
You done that? You're trying to make me waste all my budget.
What's wrong with you?
I ain't going nowhere. Come down now. Oh, fucking jack stand won't stop.
It's all the way down.
Just fucking give up. Well, it's out. Oh, that flywheel is looking worse for wear. So there's the friction plate. Yeah, it's worn its grooves, but
it's not
the worst. You can see it's got hot.
I'd say
same with this.
I'd say this, as you said, these are the...
but I think it's more a failure point on this because the gearbox wasn't full of clutch dust either.
The springs have given up, haven't they?
I'd say so. Weak fingers. No. Well, that's the one.
There we go.
I think we went through every bolt we got there. friction plate, pressure plate. Get out of the way, line. It won't sit down flat, so you have no clutch. So don't put it in that way round. So gearbox side. Now I'm going to place this on the flywheel. Oh dear, this alignment was not going to work. So we'll do it by hand. Well,
Just been fingering your spigot off for the last 5 minutes.
Finger and an eye.
Yeah.
It's never got me wrong yet. So I've done lots of clutches this way.
Just like that.
Just like that, it's off. Oh dear. I never even heard that in a car.
Right.
That will do. Don't push it out again. Let me fit that to the car. Professor saying we should have that on camera.
Fucking clever, isn't it?
Was that rolling?
Yeah, I think you're in the way.
No, I doubt I am.
Well, that's the clutch out the way. I can now see why it was such a cheap car, because that was not a fun job. Nick, how many miles has your car done?
Well, it's done average for its age. You've got to remember, it's 23 years old. Only 165,000.
I'm on 122,000, so I've actually won something now.
Why are you holding the door open with your foot? Whoa. Don't start with the winner bit here, because this car has not been without problems, has it, Chris? Well, this is him just backing out of the workshop where he's been trying to hide a small issue with the car. It didn't start. And do you know what it was? Fuel pump failure. So he's actually changed the fuel pump in the tank for an uprated one, but he's been trying to do it on the down low without any filming. Well, Chris, what is our actual plan?
Our plan, Nick, is to make competitive track cars so me and you can race each other.
And one of us will have to be crowned the winner?
Yes, one of us will have to be crowned the winner. But in order to do that, we need lots of bolt-on parts.
Lots of bolt-on parts.
Because we are not rebuilding engines and doing turbos and all that stuff, are we?
We're not. The whole exercise of this is to see if you can simply build a fast, fun, road-going and track car without having to, like you said, build your engine, forge parts, maximum power, big-ass brake kits. You know, if you can just use the normal run-of-the-mill bolt and stuff, and also show everyone, I suppose, what is available for the cheap cars that we've bought.
Yeah, because we're doing everything here on a budget is the key.
Yeah, I mean, both of these cars currently are sort of semi-performance. They're not bad. The figures are good. And both of them at the moment are rock bottom in price.
They really are, because we wanted to pick other cars, didn't we? Like, I would have loved to probably go and bought like a Clio Sport or the 350Z or something like that, but the price of them now have gone through the roof.
I've had a Clio Sport and it was amazing. Best like track car I've had. But when I sold it for like £1,200, and now they're like 3.5, 4 grand. This is like in a 3-year period. They have just shot up in value.
So these two now, the Audi and the Mini, are sort of the new budget cars that people can be messing around with, having a bit of fun with, enjoying, and then not going to break the bank.
It's entry level to motorsport, really, like, because we all know motorsport is very, very, very expensive.
It's ridiculously expensive.
Like even karting with my son, it gets very, very expensive. But if you can buy a very cheap budget car and convert it yourself, fit the parts yourself, and they're readily available, it's a way that people can get that same enjoyment from motorsport, but with a fraction of the cost, and without that tie to having to complete a season. They could just do bits and bobs that they want.
Anyway, let's jump to some of the other stuff we've done, because we've done some other fixes on these cars, haven't we? Like a bit of leakage and a bit of lightage issues.
Yes. Now you keep whining on about it, but yes, we had to do the clutch, but the oil was only a little bit of seepage from the rocker. It was nothing major. I found it.
Congratulations, you have a hammer.
I wonder if that little tickle's enough. Oh, all you need is a hammer, not patience. It's not true. Smells funny, doesn't it, this?
I don't know, some of the people watching this can't smell it. Can you explain the smell, Nicholas? How does this sealant smell?
I don't really know. You son of a bitch. Right. That's it, that's what it's getting. Splurge means good. Great success. It's not going anywhere, is it? Sure, it was like a 10-minute job, hour job. Let's see. What does this shut like? Solid.
Sounds like a Golf, that.
Or a TT.
And I may have had to change a couple of small headlight items due to something falling apart. There's a bit of chewing gum just there, holding it together.
Cheap parts, mate.
Yep. And the new ones I bought did still come from eBay.
Now we have these vehicles that we bought very cheap in a road going state. We can start with our modifications.
Now there has been a couple of mods done to the Mini, but looking at it, none of them have been done particularly well. So we're going to be replacing an awful lot of this stuff for proper, good quality bits. Might have been driving that.
That one warm?
Yeah.
Talking of good, high quality parts, what do you make of this? It's even been damaging the bonnet. On the next episode, we're going to be taking these two cars to Avon Tuning.
Because we want to know just how much power they've got before we start fitting our bolt-on modifications.
Hopefully, we won't blow them up before we actually start fitting our nice shiny parts. But also, maybe we're throwing a few extra tests to see how good our brakes are, handling, and where these cars are really
falling short. And thank you so much for watching this episode, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you can come back and watch the next ones where they get a little bit more interesting.